Greg from Oathbound Gaming coming at you again today with an early access game called Last Epoch. That is E-P-O-C-H, and full disclosure, I had to look that up before doing this video to make sure I was pronuncializing that correct. That's right, pronuncialize. So, Last Epoch is your ARPG, your Diablo, your Path of Exile kind of game. Way back in the day, I had Diablo 1 for PlayStation. Ever since then, I was hooked on those style of games. Yes, Diablo 1 came out for PlayStation. Take a look. Diablo 2 is my all-time favorite ARPG, and I know, very unique, right? Whoa, Diablo 2. I love it. What could I say? Diablo 2 was hard to top. And if you're a Diablo 2 fan, if that's your favorite, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from fellow Diablo 2 fans to back me up. So, let's take a look at Last Epoch. Enough of looking at my ugly face. Let's take a look at this game. Is it worth playing? Is it good? Let's find out. Let's go! Alright, so starting out, first thing I don't like. They require an account even though the game is only single player right now. So even if you want to play single player, you do need an account. That needs to be created on their website if it's not the first one. So the first account can be created in the game, but everything else needs to be created on their website. Don't really like that, but whatever. We can look past that, right? So we'll jump into settings, take a look at this. Some gameplay stuff. Right away I noticed you can assign a controller, which is cool. I don't really, it's not my preferred thing. I like playing on a computer with mouse and keyboard, but heck, if you like playing with a controller in your ARPGs, that's an option, which I think it's cool to support that. Display health, some visual stuff, some mini-map stuff, loot filters, that's always cool. I like that. Gameplay feedback, I like that they have the option to turn off screen shake. Don't like that. Your graphics settings, your quality, resolution, streamer mode. This is funny. If your gameplay is smooth but your stream is stuttering, enable this option. Disable some options below. This will not give you better loot drops. I guess people thought that that's what that did. You're giving streamers better loot. So I'm glad that's clarified there. Graphic quality settings, your basic stuff, sound settings, social, profanity filter, chat, you can turn that off. And then challenges, this will be empty for now, but you can complete challenges and earn some stuff. Pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and log in so we can take a look at the character creation. Just some characters I have created, but we're going to create a new character. So the 5 classes right off the bat, the first one being the Alkalite. Each of the 5 classes has 3 specializations they can choose from. If you click the specialization here, you can see the skills, but right now Warlock's not in the game just yet, so this is empty, but that's coming. Lich, click that, you see the abilities, all of them that are available, and Necromancer, there's the abilities. So that's a little bit of a preview before you pick your character. You can see like what they're going to split to. Then we have our Rogue, Primalist, our Sentinel, and of course our Caster Boy, our Mage. I like Sentinel. I like the frontline, tanky type of dude, so I'm going to go with Sentinel. And on the left we can see Solo Challenge, which means the solo character will only be able to use stuff earned on that character. You can't trade stuff from your other characters or anyone else. And then Hardcore, of course, if you die, the character becomes a softcore character. In some games they're deleted, but not in this one. When you create a character, there is a character like background cinematic. I really like this. They're actually well done. The backstory, the background story for these characters are pretty damn cool. Interesting. Voice acting is pretty top quality. I like it. I'll make a video in the future on all of those, and I'll show a little bit more about Last Epoch, because I'm definitely going to make at least 2 more videos, because this is an early access game, and that's what we do here at Oathbound Gaming. But moving on, click to move. Vengeance, that's the one ability they're giving us to start. And if you right-click, you can swing your basic attack, which you can put an ability on your right-click later as you earn more of them. So right off the bat, we're going to kill these 3 enemies. I like the blood spatter on the ground. That's the reflections on it, the lighting looks really cool. Like that. Moving on, we'll kill this little bug thing. The graphics are pretty good in the game, except I noticed the foliage, the greenery, as you can see there, the bushes, definitely needs a little bit of work. But I mean, if you don't zoom in like that, you're going to play an ARPG zoomed out anyway. You can't really tell. It's kind of like the thing that you only notice now that you know it. You know, you only notice it because you noticed it once. Now that's forever in your mind. Health potions you can pick up as they drop from enemies, and at the bottom left you can see on number 1 I can use those. Alright, so I moved on a little bit to show you guys the Cyclone ability, the Whirlwind. Love it. I think it looks great, it feels good. I always love the classes that have the Whirlwind type stuff. Cyclone was a huge ability for me in Path of Exile, loved it. So I leveled up here, you see I got a passive point and a new ability, Hammer Throw. If I hold Alt while moused over it, I can see exactly how that scales. You can see attributes add damage to it, strength and dexterity. And then the passive point, this is the passive tree. Well, 4 of them. You'll see the Sentinel, which is my base class, and then 3 mastery classes. So once you unlock a mastery class, you can specialize in the upper part of the mastery. The cool thing is, you could still put points in the lower part of the mastery, but your main mastery, the one you specialized in, you can only go to the top end of that specific mastery. And that's when, obviously, the stronger stuff is in that top end. So you can't just specialize and get the best of everything. Plus, of course, you have limited passive points anyway. The cool thing is, once you pick a mastery, you get a special ability. There's Heal, Forward Strike, and then, yeah. In addition to that, you can see the passive change that you get. You deal increased fire and physical damage, increased healing effectiveness. So you get passives just for picking the mastery. Super cool. On the right side here, there's abilities that you automatically get once you spend a certain amount of passives in the tree. Love it. Such a cool system. I think this is, it adds a lot of customizability to people's builds, and you'll see a lot more variation between players than most ARPGs. Love this system. I think it's going to really, really be interesting in the community to see people make different builds, posting them, and tweaking stuff to try to make the strongest build possible. Really, really looking forward to playing this game and getting more towards the higher levels. Alright, moving on. This game has shrines. This one's a stunning shrine. Increased chance to stun, stun duration increased. So you get some cool buffs here and there from shrines. That'll help you take on some of the harder enemies. You'll notice the stunning shrine, real quick, is locking this bear up. It can't do anything. It's completely stunned. These guys die a little quicker, but you do see the stun on them as well. Moving on, we're going to kill these bird dudes. You see they're stun locked as well because it's the stunning shrine. We're going to talk to this NPC so we can proceed. And I gotta say, I don't really care too much for the lore in ARPGs, but the lore in this game actually seems pretty good. I might take my time to read through all of it at one point or another. Alright, level 4. So you weren't impressed by the passives? You weren't impressed? Okay, well I got something more for you. The skill specialization system. I was blown away by this. So not only do you get passives, but you can specialize in specific skills, up to 5 of them. At the top, you'll notice level 9, 19, 34, and 49. I already unlocked the first specialization at level 4. So, we're going to specialize in my favorite skill right now, Warpath. As you can see, the skills have pretty much talent points of their own. You can modify the skills further. I am so blown away by this. You can move faster, increased area effect on the Warpath, which is the Whirlwind. So cool. So cool. Vengeance, take a look at that. It deals more damage, increased attack speed. There's so much that you can do. Hammers travel faster, they deal more damage, have a higher chance to stun. But I love this. This is incredible to me. Seeing the amount of customization, the amount of builds and unique ways you can change your character. Like my Void Knight will be different from that guy's Void Knight. All 10 of those guys, those Void Knights over there, they're all different because they have different passives in their Void Knight tree and in their other trees. They have some points in there as well. What skills they choose to specialize in are different. Like this is so cool to me. It really does kind of blow my mind a little bit. And there's some big modifiers for some of these skills. Took a look at some of them. Some of them completely change the skills. Like one of them for the Whirlwind, you can't move anymore, but it does double damage and double area of effect. It can get to the point where it's pretty much taking up the entire screen. There's minions that you can change them from like a rock elemental to a fire elemental. It's just really, really cool. Increase the amount of skeletons you can have for summons. They do more damage. There's a different skeleton minion that you add to your group of skeletons when you summon them. Super cool stuff. Really, really excited to play this game. This is one of the games I'm probably most excited for in the early access catalog that we're currently reviewing. I hope I'm not alone here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying what you're seeing. If you are, please leave a comment. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We have more to see, more to look at in Last Epic before you leave that comment. Another passive point, and let's go. Alright, I made it to the first town. As you can see, I'm starting to grow up a little bit. A little tankier, higher level. Character's starting to change. There's some more abilities down there. Right here, there's a gambling NPC. So all you gamblers from way back in the day in Diablo 2 and your other ARPGs, well, we have that here too. And I rolled a common in my first gambled item. Well, that's no stopping me now. Here we go. Alright, I got a magic item.
Maybe it'll help you
Something, I guess. Let's try again. Another magic.
Not bad.
Lovely. As you can see, gambling does not pay off too well, so be careful with your gold, guys. But the option's there if you like that type of stuff. Super cool to see that in the game. Moving on to the other side of the town, we have your standard just blacksmith, normal stuff, nothing really impressive.
Follow your feet.
But they do have a target dummy, which is cool. Little training dummy here, you can test your abilities and test your damage. I like to see that. Nice little quality of life. And then here we can respec our mastery points to change what we spec into. If you click the ability, you'll see, hey, it'll cost some gold. Sure, I'm going to respec that point, and you can get your gold back and spec it elsewhere. So I like seeing that you can adjust your build and you're not locked in permanently. One thing I really didn't like about the game was the way it compared weaponry. You'll see right away that it doesn't show you the DPS increase between two items when you're comparing them. So you'll see something that has 43% increased melee damage and 24% increased melee damage, but there's different attack rates and you might have different damage on them, so you can't really see which one is the best right off the bat. In addition to that, the sword has 61% increased critical strike chance, while the spear, at the very top of the spear stats, you'll see 2% melee critical strike chance. Those wordings can be a little confusing because as you look at the stats window here, at the bottom left, you'll see melee critical strike chance is 8%. When I equip the sword, it's 8%. When I equip the spear, it's 7%. At the bottom there, you'll see the attack DPS changing as you equip the weapon. So you kind of need to open your character stat screen to really compare the gear. It's not really fluid in a game like this, like an ARPG. You want to be able to kind of just see an item, be like, okay, that's an upgrade, I'm going to throw that on. Or not an upgrade, all right, forget it, let's go on with the killing. Like the games, ARPGs are all about, you know, go, 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 kill, kill, kill. Like that's the fun of them. So I think it needs a little bit of work here. I would like to see the comparisons get adjusted to show a little bit more information and do the math for you and show you the actual DPS increase or decrease right off the bat so you can make an educated decision on whether or not you actually want to equip that piece. One other issue I have, as we're talking about some issues, is the game seems a little linear. I really like this ramp. It's kind of cool. You know, it goes down, it shows some depth to the world a little bit, you know. It's not just a flat plane. But everything seems a little hallway-like. There's not really big open areas, big plains, fields, which I'd like to see change. I'm really hoping to see some areas like that. But a lot of the game, at least in the first few hours, seems very hallway-like. Still a fun game, still entertaining, but I just think the areas can use a little bit of work, a little bit of space. You know, get this claustrophobic feeling out of there. And let's get a big plane, big fields, so we can kill a large amount of enemies. Alright, let's get back to the fun stuff. Let's kill some things. So let's take a look at a boss fight in Last Epic. I love them. They're cool. There's abilities to avoid, as you can see. This guy's channeling a fire beam. There's a circle of blue static. I obviously want to stay out of that. Got hit by some bolts here. So there's actual skills. There's a conical attack right there. Want to avoid that along with the beam. There's 3 of these dudes throwing out random spells, so while you whittle down one, you might have to swap to another because that one's standing in an AoE. Really like this fight, and it's not unique to this fight. Like, there's a lot of boss fights that have mechanics that you can't just ignore. You really do want to get out of them and dodge them, and it makes the boss fights fun, engaging, and you don't see that a lot in a lot of ARPGs. They're starting to get there, but not every ARPG has good boss fights. Alright, maybe one boss fight wasn't enough for you. Let's do one more. This big serpent worm thing. He's got a straight attack you want to avoid. I have this little blockade thing that I can sit there and block attacks. One thing I noticed, I'm kind of whirlwinding off of the ledge to hit him. Thought that was a little odd. It lets you kind of travel on the air, but it ported me back. So a little buggy there, but definitely not game breaking. I'm wondering if I will be able to avoid the attack by doing that though, like going inside it. Don't want to risk it though. So I'd rather just play it normally and step to the side. So another cool boss fight. I like this one. Block that. And finish it. Once he's dead, you're going to see a portal open up. Ancient Cavern. So we're going to go into the galactic butthole. We're going to travel through, and this screen means we're traveling through time. This game has time travel in a way. So you'll see that I'm going to be in the same place, but in a different time. So you'll notice the ground's a little more green, it's a little more naturey, I guess. And the enemies in the area change as well. So we got this fire magma dinosaur, there's magma in the area, and this is supposed to be the ancient era. You could see it at the top right. You'll see there's dinosaurs, raptor dudes, so pretty cool. Alright, so you want to see more features? Okay, so we're going to teleport back to town here, and I am going to show you guys the crafting system. This is still the gambling merchant. I don't need to come here for this, but I'm gonna go and sell. You hold shift and right click. You can sell all your stuff that you got. And here I'm gonna sort my items. These things I have left in my inventory, there's 2 uniques and a bunch of crafting material. At the bottom there, you see store crafting items. If I click that, it's going to store those things in the crafting items tab. They're called shards. As you see, I have 21 shards. If I go to forge, it's going to allow me to add modifiers to gear. So if I put my weapon in here, you'll see, hey, you have melee cold damage and chance to chill on hit. But at the bottom there, you see, okay, I need level 13 to forge this equipment, and there's an 88% chance for it to succeed. You'll see suffixes, prefixes, what it has. So any of you Path of Exile fans, you know about these suffix, prefix, what you need to think about when you're trying to craft on your item. So enough about the weapon. Let's bring in a chest piece because I'm going to be able to add some stuff to this. As you can see here, I can add attunement, vitality, dexterity. Let's add vitality. It's going to add some health to our character. At the bottom, you see 100% chance to succeed, and bam. Crafted it, and it added 5 instability to the item, and the more instability you have, the more likely it is to fail on further crafts. So you can't just keep adding stuff on top of each other. Here is just some uniques. This is kind of cool. chance to crit, 100% chance to critical strike chance if you haven't dealt a crit recently, but 50% less if you have. And then there's a minion unique here, so there's uniques that support all sorts of playstyles. Really liked some of the uniques I see here.
You feeling lucky?
Cool stuff. You know I have to gamble again, right, while I'm here? Let's do it. Let's get the gambling addiction rolling. Crappy magic item.
Looks powerful.
Ooh, there's a rare item. And it sucks.
You may find a
Well,
treasure, my friend.
screw that. One more.
You want to go again?
Okay, one more.
Maybe it'll help you
Oh, this
along the
gambling
way.
system's gonna be the bane of me. I'm gonna have no gold. I gotta get out of here. Alright, I leveled a summoner so you guys can check that out too. Here's another boss fight. You'll see I have 3 skeleton dudes with me and a stone golem. Really cool, love this character. I have these homing spirit things, these skulls that home in on enemies. Love this character, super cool. That rotating flame does a ton of damage. It kills every one of my skeletons, so I summon them back. And even the golem that's supposed to be extremely tanky, he takes about 60% of his health from it, and I resummon him to heal him. Continue throwing bolts. Watch out for that AoE, does a lot of damage. Throwing fireballs, those hurt a lot. So when you're playing hardcore, the pressure is on. Gotta be careful in these boss fights, can easily lose your character. So skeletons at the top left, you'll see them again, like they start dropping. That shows what minions are still alive. And the stone golem shows his health. So when they die, I can resummon them, but they do cost mana to summon. And the boss goes down. Voice acting's pretty cool.
Seems he failed to handle the void's
Alright, one more boss
power.
fight. One more.
Pathetic.
Okay. So more minion combat. You see the stone golem kind of just AoEing enemies with very strong slams. Bam! Just killing them all these little maggots. Really like him. I have 3 skeletons here. One's a, like a knight, the tanky dude, an archer, and a rogue. This is a bit of like a holdout, a gauntlet type of thing. And as you hold out, stronger enemies start coming, but eventually when you complete this, you'll have a boss summon. You grab this shrine that summons 2 little frost beetle dudes. That's kind of cool. I like seeing a shrine do that. I didn't expect that. Expected more stuff like, here's your haste, here's your stun. But something that summons pets, that's cool. I like that. Now I have all sorts of minions. Alright, there's the boss. And by the way, this is not the only summon class. There's ones that summon wolves and stuff, so less of the undead summon and more of like a beastmaster from the Primalist. Really cool. This boss definitely dies much quicker because the damage that this character's doing is just so much higher than the Whirlwind guy. Lots of fire damage though. Take a look at how much damage I take if I stand in that. Pretty fast. I hope you guys enjoyed that fight. Last Epic, what do you guys think? Our first look at it. I'm quite impressed. I'm excited to see where this game goes. But most importantly, I want to see that co-op. It's very hard for me to enjoy an ARPG alone. That game, that style of game always meant co-op. It always meant bring your bros in together, you know? So a single player ARPG, while I've played them, they don't hit that sweet spot for me, you know? It's all about bringing your friends together, your buddies together, getting different classes and builds to form a kick-ass team, you know, to take down all these baddies, get loot for each other. You know, I found this for your build. It works really well for you. Like, that's what makes an ARPG super enjoyable. So I'm hoping to see that come soon. I'll definitely update you guys. We'll definitely be doing more videos on Last Epic. I hope you enjoyed that. And before I leave you today, you know I got to plug this, right? RTX 3080, if you want to win this thing, head to oathboundgaming.com and enter today. If you happen to miss this giveaway, we will almost always be running giveaways on this channel. So head there anyway. I'm sure you'll find something cool, something interesting that you would want to win. And I always appreciate any sort of support, so if you want to hit that little subscribe button and that upvote, that little like button, I always appreciate that. If you like those little notifications, hit the little bell so you can be notified when we upload our next video, so you don't miss anything that Oathbound Gaming does. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Skidda!